Or if you didn't get that, hello again, my movie loving friends. Another another night, another late night movie, another late night movies that I enjoy. Uh, just grabbed a bunch of my shelf movies that I enjoy that that are probably not as known to everyone. They're all pretty good, well-known movies, but maybe because you're of a younger generation, or maybe these movies just slipped by you, you didn't ever catch them. So I'll do my little bit to promote these kind of late night gems. And the first one I'll go through is probably the hardest one to not talk about, but to bring up, and that will be 2006's Running Scared, starring Paul Walker. Now, this is written and directed by a German named Wayne Kramer. Yeah, um, and it's a very fairy tale take, type take of the action genre. He mixes in a lot of old fairy tales like Hansel and Gretel, Little Red Riding Hood, and stuff like that to kind of amplify his stories and his visual look in the movie. But basically, it's the movie of this guy played by Paul Walker, who is enforcer in a mob. He is one of the guns. He's one of the guys who the boss will bring to a meeting for backup. And during this one drug deal that ends up going bad, bad meaning basically everybody in the room shooting each other up like Reservoir Dogs style. Um, he ends up having to grab everybody's guns and keep them safe, and get ready to trash them or throw them out. So he brings the gun home to his wife and kid, and he hides the guns in his basement, which is sort of his private area. But his kid and his Russian friend, I don't think it's Russian actually, and by because I don't want to say the wrong country, we'll just say a European, um, European neighbor, and they're friends, and they use the basement to play hockey because they're both hockey fans, and Paul Walker is a hockey fan in the movie, so that's where they play. Probably since in America you probably can't play in the streets without getting shot or some shit like that. Um, and the thing is, the European kid comes from an abusive family, and later that night during dinner, during during a fight at the other kid's house, which is right across from Paul Walker's house. When Paul Walker's eating dinner, all of a sudden, a bullet comes flying comes flying through the window, and and into his house. And him being a mobster himself and pretty protective of his family and all of that stuff, he runs over to the other kid's house, whose dad is, or a stepdad is also a Russian gang mobster. Or, yeah, he's Russian. I'm pretty sure he's Russian. And sorry, late night, and I'm coming to you at the end of the transfer deadline day. So I've been watching a lot of TV, talking and screaming all day. So you can blame the cigarette if you want to, but it's really, I'm just tired. Um, yeah. So he thinks this Russian guy has just shot a gun for no apparent reason and end up shooting into his house. He goes in, he finds out that the Russian guy is on the ground and he was shot by the kid. Where did the kid get a gun? He didn't have a gun. It's not his. The Russian guy says it's not one of the ones he has in the house. Bingo. The kid has been downstairs, saw Paul Walker putting the guns away. He has picked it up, taken it with him back home. Problem is, this gun was used in a shootout across town with a lot of gangsters, a lot of people getting killed and stuff like that. So that bullet could basically throw Paul Walker straight into jail. So the race begins. The kid is gone. So the race begins with him having to get back to his house, get the bullet before the cops do, which he fails at. And then he has to go and find the kid before the cops do. That's basically the movie. And telling you more would basically spoil the rest of it. But what carries it is Paul Walker. You have some great supporting cast in Vera Farmiga and Chaz Palmieri, who plays Paul Walker's boss, and Vega. Oh, I just said her name. Vera plays his wife, and she's goddamn hot in this movie. If you know her from maybe Bates Motel or some stuff like that, this is nothing like Bates Motel. She's drop dead gorgeous in this movie. It's a New Jersey story, so it has a lot of landmarks and New Jersey style to it, and it deals with a lot of stuff on Paul Walker's journey on trying to find the kid. Searching through his hiding places, and just basically following him around town. They end up having one of the most insane nights probably ever put to film, and they come by drug dealers, hookers, pedophiles, or are they pedophiles, or so. Yeah, a lot of stuff. It actually says on the cover, it's approved by the master, Quentin Tarantino, action guarantee. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but should you be a fan of Paul Walker's work, Fast and Furious, of course, and stuff like that, this is not like his other action movies. This is a lot more hardcore, even here in Norway, which most movies would get a straight 15, basically, no matter how violent or sexual it is. And this movie is not very sexual in nature, but this is an 18-year movie, which would qualify probably as an X or an R rating in the States. The DVD itself is pretty straight up, bare bones, except it's got a feature commentary by the director, and it has a few featurettes and a trailer. But the featurettes are pretty basic. But this is a great movie, great action movie for a late night viewing. It's fast, it's kind of fun, it's very dark, it will shock you at points, but you will be probably equally impressed by the visual style and the story itself, which is very engaging. So for an action movie, it's got a pretty good story. So I would really recommend this if you can find it. It's on Netflix and stuff like that. So if you want to honor Paul Walker in some way without just watching the Fast and Furious movies, this is a great piece of acting from his side. I already did a video the night he died, a short one, but in the time that has passed, we just learned more and more about what a great guy he was, what a friend he was, The guy he bought a wedding ring to just because, not even the cheap one. He just picked the one you want. Um, he was a stand-up dude, probably a great father, a great friend, great husband. So again, my condolences to everybody who ever knew him. If you're watching this, I'm sorry for your loss. I see that there are gonna finish Fast Seven, is it? Yeah, and I wasn't really on board with that. I actually thought they should scrap the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure that they're gonna do something good and respectful to his character. They confirmed that they were gonna retire his character, whatever that means. So he'll probably get a good, dignified exit. After, I also think they're gonna reshoot a whole bunch of it just to make it work. So it shows that they don't just want to trample on what he already did. Um, but yeah, back on a better note, this is Paul Walker at his best, as alive as we want to remember him. And check it out, Running Scared, on a Netflix near you. Um, Next one is, I can probably go with the more famous one now. Of course, if you haven't seen this movie, it's probably your loss, but everybody, most of you have seen this, will probably have seen the movie, and I'm talking about Fight Club, the 2000 fantastic David Fincher movie with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton and Meatloaf and Helena Bonham Carter and all these great actors, Jared Leto or Leto or whatever. Um, it's this is one of my favorite movies from my youth, my 15 plus years. I remember I remember watching this or seeing the poster for it at the cinemas. And again, this is back in 2000. I didn't even really follow too many movie sites. Trailers were something I saw. If I saw them, they were on TV here, and a lot of people weren't, or a lot of movies aren't advertised through trailers. So unless they're like really big studio, this is gonna be a hit. And for people who remember when Fight Club came out, the studio was not really sure that this was gonna be a hit. Of course, it turned out that way. It turned out really good, and it's got a great following now. But at the point, they were not really sure how this was gonna pan out. So. But yeah, I saw the poster and just saw Fight Club, and I was thinking like, okay, so it's just gonna be some generic action movie. I don't even think it said Brad Pitt and Edward Norton on the poster, and even then, if it did, at the point, for me, Brad Pitt was like the guy from 7 Years in Tibet, and oh, Dancing in the Fields, what the fuck, oh. The Anthony Hopkins one, you can correct me on this. I don't remember right now, but that was like the movies I knew him from at the time. Um, so I was not really a big fan, and I had Edward Norton. I had no idea who was. It wouldn't be until probably later that year. It was, I think, actually, it was about the time I saw this when I saw American History X, which was the movie that made me realize who Edward Norton was. So, and of course, I had seen him in like movies like The People versus Larry Flint and stuff like that, but never really noticed him. So, yeah, like I said, this passed me by until one weekend this must be my first year of high school, um, where a friend of mine had gotten the VHS and loved it. So we had some free periods, I think, between we had some hours between classes. So he asked me to come check it out. We get some food and we just relax and watch the movie. Yeah, I'm down. And what happened was I was just blown away by this thing. Um, it was it was smart. It was funny. It it was shot in a way that I hadn't seen before. A couple of movies in the year or two that followed kind of copied the look of it, uh, uh, without maybe like blowing it out, but like maybe movies like Panic Room and stuff like that kind of had the same kind of basic look to it. Um, but yeah, it was I loved it. Basically, I just really loved it, and I thought it was cool. I borrowed it. I watched it some more, and then I think maybe the summer later, um, I came over this DVD, which I've kept as probably one of my prized possessions since I started collecting. I have a lot of DVDs, and I do try to keep them as good as I can, but uh, moving them around rooms, boxes they've been in, drawers they've been shoved in, and stuff like that. Some movies have been beaten up more than others, and I have to admit I also have like a stack of DVDs just that I've never gotten around to clean and put into their real cases again, like this tall. So, but some of the movies I do always keep pristine, and this box is, I don't really know if you can see it, but it's very little wear and tear on. And this is partially because it's made in kind of a sturdier cardboard than most DVDs, but it's I've been really careful with this. You open it, you get this cool picture of Brad Pitt, and the whole soap thing. You use soap. You got soap on this side too. You open it up, and you get even more artwork. Edward Norton and Brad Pitt on each of their discs, and you have stuff in the back here too. I don't even bother to open it. And like I said, they actually use. Back in the day, they used to use this area. They have this little book, which not only has the chapters and some cool artwork and stuff like that, but it has the story of the book and the movie production and some interviews and just a lot of good solid stuff, which is not superfluous, it's not unneeded, it's just there for your entertainment. I actually bought this. When I bought this, I was on, like I said, on vacation, and this was pre me having a laptop with a DVD player. This was pre everybody I met having a DVD player. So basically, I bought this and Silence of the Lambs on the same day, and I could actually use those for references because the Silence of the Lambs look a whole lot worse than my Fight Club box does. But I couldn't watch this for maybe 2 weeks. I had to just look at the box and open it and closing it and reading the book. But it worked. But again, for anyone who hasn't seen this, it's the story of a person named Jack. We think, probably, maybe. We're not quite sure what his name is, but we call him Jack. The back of the box says Northern Stars as Jack, so we'll call him that. And he's a guy with a boring life, he's in a routine, a boring situation. He can't sleep, he can't focus. He goes to support groups just to get his stuff out and cry. But the thing is, he doesn't even have any of the problems that those support groups represent. He just does it because it makes him feel good. It's the only thing that makes him feel good. Until he meets this guy, Tyler Durden, who, played by Brad Pitt, who wants to show him that the less you have, the more happy you are. The more you break down your life, the more you separate yourself from the bounds of everything you need and own, and all the stuff that you think you care about and you think you need, and the carpets and the IKEA stuff and all that stuff. Get rid of it, and you will be as happy as you ever were. And after a while, Norton starts to get in on this idea, and they start to have this discussion whether or not they have been punched before, and neither of them have, at least not as grown-ups. So they start to fight each other outside of a bar after a drinking session, and just to try to hit each other, just to see how it feels, just to experience the pain. And they have sort of an epiphany through this, that it feels great. It's sort of a body orgasm kind of thing, a release of tension. So they start this thing called Fight Club, where people can come and fight each other. No, you don't need any training. You don't need anything. You just meet up. You're anonymous, and you fight together. And then you go out and you feel like a badass, and you don't have to fight anybody else. And it's after that, it's this progression of this group. And for me, the movie kind of loses a bit of interest when it starts turning into a whole organization kind of a thing. And again, I don't want to spoil the whole thing for anybody who hasn't seen it, but when you get through the midway point, to me, it starts to slow down. I don't think most people feel that way. That's just me. I like it more when it's just Jack and Tyler doing their thing. But it's greatly written. It's greatly acted. It's dark. It's funny. It's a dark comedy. Don't let anybody tell you any different. It's not an action movie. It's not a comedy. It's not something in between. It's a dark comedy. It's a lot of laughs in this if you watch it in the right mindset. And even the directors and people who worked on it will tell you that was what they were going for. So so yeah. Like I said, Edward Norton's great, Brad Pitt's great, Helena Bonham Carter is great. That's where I discovered her for the first time, and she brings the whole Bonham Carter thing that she brings. It's nothing new, but when I saw it there, then it was new. So yeah. Do I want to speak of more? Nah, except yeah, you don't talk about Fight Club. So yeah, moving on. This is another one of my comedies, like Harold and Kumar, which I found here in Norway under a different title, as American Harold and Kumar Goes to White Castle was of course called American High, and this little pearl of a gem that I discovered from the producer of American Pie is called, in Norway at least, Eat This. Eat This. Comedy about this crew of waiters working at a restaurant, starring Ryan Reynolds, Anna Faris, as you can see, Justin Long, and just a whole bunch of guys. Oh my god. John Francis Daly is in it. Yeah, oh my god, this Milanakis kid. All of these guys are in this. Now, another one of my late time favorites, who I just felt was a little bit too famous, is Clerks. I worked in 7-Eleven and other 7-Eleven like convenience stores around the city, and I discovered Clerks at the same time as I was working at the place, and anybody who has ever worked in that kind of an environment, even either before that time, during that time, or after, like I did, will find stuff they recognize about themselves in Clerks. And the appeal is the same with this for me. I have served at restaurants. I've not worked for tips like you suckers of American waiters do. Yeah, you can try and bite my head off that, but tip is not a fucking mandatory thing. It's your fucking job to make sure your fucking manager pays you properly. It's not my job to pay your fucking salary. You know what? Tip is a fucking tip. It's a bonus for doing good service. And that means you should do your basic job for no extra cash. And you should do it well. When you do well, you get more. That's how it works. It pisses me off. And it's starting to bleed over to Europe too. Just because we have to do everything Americans does like the same way. It's starting to bleed off here where we get this kind of places where tips mandatory and stuff like that. No. Your salary is supposed to be. I hear you when waiters. I've been on IMD message boards with this, and you have a lot of waitresses who are like, yeah, but the pay we get is too little, so we need a tip. I understand this, but that's where the fault is fundamentally. You need to raise your country, your people, your whatever the fuck needs to raise the minimum salary. If you raise that minimum salary to something that's livable, then you're good. As long as you can pay your rent, you can pay your food, you can pay your clothes, then really, if you need more money than that, then it's up to you to do a fucking great job. That's what I mean. If you fucking work your ass off, if you make sure that every customer you have leave happy, and I know customers can be assholes, customers can be fucking swine, and you just want to throw shit at them. I get that. I've seen that. I've done that. But if you make every single one of them feel as good as they can, if you just lay your ass down and just take it, at least they throw out some fucking money for you. If they don't do that, then if you put out all your best work, all your best sides, all that stuff, and then they still don't pay you, that's a different story. That's a different story. Then you can complain. Then you can be up in the guy's face. But for people who come in to a restaurant to eat, you know, when I go to eat, it's hard enough for me to make sure I have enough money to pay for the meal. So as long as I got enough money to pay for the meal, nobody's going to tell me that I can't go to a fucking restaurant. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about no waiter or their motherfucking tip. And if you put out your best work and I actually don't have a tip for you, then I'll grovel to you for it. Do you understand? Then I'll go down and apologize. I'll be the good customer and like, sorry, but this is all I have. But you've given me such good service that, believe me, I'll be back. That's how the world should work. But yeah, back to this movie. This movie, if you work as a waiter, and especially if you're a waiter working for tips, then you will love this movie. This is your payback. If you can just shut up and not complain to any of your customers, then you just go home and watch this. This could probably just help you out. This is your fuck you to every single annoying customer you're ever gonna have, and you'll cheer for what these guys do. And it's a fun movie. It's just 24 hours. It starts at one party after work, and then it just goes to the next after party or after work party the next day. That's the whole thing. And it's the relationships between the chefs, the waiters, especially the waiters, the hostess, the boss, all this stuff. Ryan Reynolds. If you don't like Ryan Reynolds, you won't like this movie. If you're a fan of Ryan Reynolds, like I am, you'll find it great. He's his usual funny, charming, whatever. Um, John, not John Guzman. Guzman. Yeah, if I don't know, yeah, Luis Guzman. He plays one of the chefs, and he's fucking awesome as he always is. Um, and it's just about having fun at work and being with your friends, and it has sort of a life moves on kind of a message to it. But it's a good comedy, and its real title, for fuck's sake, is Waiting. Waiting. Dot dot dot. It's not Eat This, which does not. It's just not funny. Why would you go? Is it because waiting could get confused with like waiting? Is that it? Because I really wouldn't be confused by this guy trying to serve a plate of moldy food if it said waiting. So yeah, definitely check this movie out if you can find it. This was a bare bones bargain buy for me. I have no idea how known or how big this is in the States. So, and it also has a very crappy sequel called Still Waiting, and I think kind of a spin-off, but I'm not sure if that is connected, which is just role reverse with girls. I'm not sure if those are connected. But Still Waiting is connected and it sucks. So yeah. Waiting. Check it out. Anna Faris too, also great in this movie. Probably her best since the first Scary Movie. Next one. Another classic, another funness, another greatness. It's the Friday! You can actually do all three of these at any random order, and it's a good time. Friday, next Friday, or Friday after next. But this is Ice Cube's and DJ Pooh's little epic called Friday. About Craig and his friend Smokey, and basically 24 hours in their life, from morning to night. With a great soundtrack with Ice Cube, Dre, Cypress Hill, Scarface, Mac 10, 2 Live Crew, and more. Like, this is a hip hop classic. Also stars Nia Long, Michael. Oh, why do I keep doing this? Michael Clark Duncan is in this. Of course, Chris Tucker. Bernie Mac is in it. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. But yeah, it's about Craig. He's a slacker. He lives at home. He just lost his job. He hangs out with his stoner dealer friend Smokey. Smokey owes him money, and by the end of the day, they're both roped up in it. They're both gonna have to find a way to pay. And Debo, the neighborhood, I would say gangster, but I'd probably owe gangsters. But the neighborhood gangster. What do you call a gangster who robs other people's? Like, I live in sort of a hood here, and that's kind of a robbing your own neighbors kind of mentality I've never seen. So I don't really know what you call that. But other than that, great fun movie. Very straightforward. Great performances by both Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. Nia Long does really good in this. The music is great. The guy who plays the dad, whose name's escaped me right now, but he's really good. And yeah, it's not really too much to say about this movie. This is a very straightforward little flick. But it is a good time. It's 1.5 hours that you'll kill very quickly, um, and it does have some soul to it. It's a nice little piece of loveliness, kind of. Oh, looking for the camera, looking for the camera. Okay. So, with that said, I do have some other things here. Nightmare on Elm Street, the series, which is the only DVD that was released in this series. Got 3 episodes on it, which it does have the pilot actually, Mr. Nice Guy, where you see like the trial of Freddy Krueger and how he got caught and stuff like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Villmark is a Norwegian horror movie about a film crew in the woods. It's basically people in the woods and something weird happening. It's not the Norwegian Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because that's this one, Predators. That's the Norwegian Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or more the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Just so you know. But this is more of a subtle piece of thing, and it's really good actually. It's one of very few movies that I kind of have a bit of a problem with watching alone, because I kind of build it up in my head. But the last couple of movies I was going to talk about on this one is the Predator movies. Since I already did the Prometheus the Alien box, and so I can probably just admit that I'm a huge fan of both Alien and Predator, and I even tolerate the Alien vs Predator movies. First one is actually really kind of what I expected of an Alien vs Predator movie, but it didn't have any of the gore, it didn't have any of the real suspense, and it lacked in those terms. Requiem was it had all the elements, but it's like everybody say, it's just too dark. You can't see a damn thing. The characters are the most unlikable, and I'm not a hater of badly written characters even, but these are so bland, so non. They just feel like lesser versions of. You feel like there should be played by better actors. You kind of can see the faces of, oh, okay, you're the substitute for this one and this one and this one. So that of course has its problems. The actual gore in Requiem that you can see, I love. The bitch hanging on the wall with the big predator weapon through her. The kid getting killed with the facehugger and the chest burster. That's awesome. So, yeah. I love the Predator movies too. Predator 1 and 2. They're just relaxing action movies for me. I guess if you saw these in the cinemas when they came out, this would be the most heart pumping, adrenaline inducing thing you could probably see in the cinemas at the time. But for me, these are just movies that I always put in after midnight at some point. Arnold in the first one, and Carl Weathers and all of these guys, Jesse Ventura, just making up this gang of badasses going through the woods or the jungle trying to find this tribe or whatever they were doing in there. It's been a while since I've seen it, and then just bumping into this hunter alien thing, and the chase that ensues. Just straight up 80s glorious action, and the thought that it was actually Jean-Claude Van Damme in the suit for a little while is kind of awesome. to think that he's actually one of the main. He's one of the main action heroes of the time, and he kind of now counts as one of the great monsters. And yeah, it's just great. Predator 2, same kind of fantastic. That this is probably the bloodiest movie I'd seen to one point in my life. It's just balls to the wall with gore and insane ideas and weird colors and LA, and it's hot and it's crazy and it's 1997 and the world is going under. It's just fantastic. Danny Glover as the cop, great. Bill Paxton, who was killed by Alien, Predator, and the Terminator. Gary Busey in this movie, like, holy fuck, do you need more crazy in one fucking movie? I really love this movie. The action is great, the scenery is great. It's just all awesome. It's just awesomeness. And like I'm starting to discover when something is really awesome, I don't really want to keep talking about it all that much, so I'm actually going to wrap this up. But this is a few of my late night favorites like we did last time, and any of these are a good pick if you're just staring blankly into your DVD collection like, what the fuck am I going to watch tonight? I'm so sick of everything. You know what? Check out some of these. If you don't have them, go online, primewire.ag, and just check out whatever. They have everything. Yeah. Right. So that probably is enough for tonight. Clock's turned 4 already. Oh, I fucking hate it that time moves so fucking fast. I can't get a grip on it. But again, thank you for watching as always. I don't really, this is probably the first time I'm going to say it, but if you ever make it to this point, please click and subscribe. I need the subscribers. I do this, like I've said before, just for myself. I do this for fun, but if there was any way that this could turn into at least a something I could make some kind of feasible living on, it would be so great. And I know there's a lot of competition out there for attention, and there's a lot of people who make their episodes more thrilling and more exciting than mine. But I'm hoping that someone's going to at least find my voice interesting enough to at least carry them for between 20 to 40 minutes, you know? It's really an awesome thing that you can do this now. You can start sharing stuff and put it out there and just let people find it. And for all I know, somebody's going to watch this in like 20, 25, 30 years time. And they're looking at this like maybe they're critical of it, maybe I've done something worthwhile in between, so maybe they want to go back and check out where I came from. But if I did, then you can know right now that I am very, very, very surprised that you would. And I thank you for it. I don't know what I might have done to make anybody go back in time to check me out. But if I did, then I probably did it because of something that you inspired me to, so thank you. Yeah, other than that, is there anything to go over? I'll try to keep making these videos. I don't live by myself. I've had the crib for myself in a few days now, but unfortunately that's coming to an end. So most likely I have to go down to at least just a couple of videos a week, if that. But I'm gonna try keeping it going. I'm gonna try posting stuff here, so you at least, when any of you get here, you'll have something to watch. So sorry for looking tired and whatever, but I am tired and it is late. So yeah. I will see you later. Hopefully sometime we'll do something a little more fun, but yeah. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.